recruiting on any given day. The only limit is how many days you are allowed to recruit. So there's, I think, like an 85-day limit on days you're allowed to go recruit kids.
What should a club be doing for their players? What's a reasonable expectation as far as the club is concerned?
That's hard to say. It depends. When I was in club, our club did nothing for me. My head coach helped me a ton. But the club did not have any specific plan for recruiting process or doing anything. I think it's on the parents and the players to ask for help if they need it. I doubt that any coach in a club or in high school, if they have any experience or have any knowledge of how recruiting works, I think that they would be willing to help. But I think it's unfair to say that all clubs have to do this, because you're talking about a range where there's 100 clubs or 100 teams for one club, and then other clubs have 5 or 6 teams, and there might not be enough manpower to actually have a recruiting model in place for a smaller club, where if there's 100 teams, then yeah, they need some sort of plan to help all of those teams kind of go through the process and figure out what to do. I think that head coaches definitely help a ton. My head coach helped me a ton. Basically what he did, and I would recommend this for all of you guys, is there's 6 or 7 criteria that he kind of walked me through, and I had to do it on my own. He gave me this sheet and said, here are like 6 or 7 things. I need you to rank them in order of importance. So answer the question and then rank them 1 through 7 on what's the most important thing to you at picking the school and what's the least important thing. So some of them were big school, small school. So do you want to go to a school where there's 45,000 people, 50,000 people, or do you want to go to a school where it's somewhat similar to a high school? Because there are colleges and universities that they're similar sizes to some of the high schools. Okay, so there's that big range. Then there's also, do you want to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big sea? And that meant for me, do you want to go to a team where you're going to be the star, or do you want to go to a team where the people on the team are probably going to be better than you, but they're going to make you better? So that was another one I had to answer. Big city or college town or middle of nowhere. So I picked college town. I wanted a college town atmosphere. I wanted to go there and know that everybody there was on that one college campus for a reason. Distance from home. Do you want to get as far away from your parents as you can? Or do you want them to come over and take your laundry on the weekends? I would not recommend parents doing that anyways, but that's an option that I had to answer. Do I want my parents to be able to come see me whenever they want? They can just pop in, knock on the door, and say, hey, what's going on? Or do I want to get kind of far enough away that I have my own college experience? Academics. Do you know what you want to do? Can you pick what you want to do based on the school, or do you not have any idea and you're just going to keep it general? I had no idea, and honestly, academics was 7th on my list. I never, ever recommend that to anybody else. But I was very lucky that I went to a big university where they had a ton of majors. So I had no idea what I wanted to do. So academics to me at that point in time, I was like, I don't know, I might do graphic design, I might do business, I might do kinesiology and try and go into like some sort of athletic trainer role. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So academics was last. The other thing was the RPI of the school. It's important for people to look at it, especially if you want to do Division I stuff. I would recommend not going to an RPI school unless they're turning the program around. Division I, everybody says Division I, Division I. If the RPI is below 300, you're better off going to a Division II school. Or RPI is your ranking nationally. So, but like it's basically the strength of the school. So there's 360 Division I schools. If you're in the 350s, 340s consistently, because you can go back and look from like 2007 to 2015 and see where their rank is. If they're consistently in the 300s, play with all of the Penn State players, and they hung with us. It's not like it was a weak spot on the court, but they chose to go to a Division III school. So, again, there's a lot of different things that you have to rank out. My biggest one, I wanted to play for a top 25 volleyball team. I wanted to go to a school where I could win a national championship. And like I said, I never recommend it to anybody else because after being at Penn State, I saw so many kids that were top 5 recruits in the country come to school and not pan out. We had a girl from Nebraska that was at a different school. She was an All-American as a freshman and sophomore. She quit volleyball altogether after her sophomore year. Just quit because she was burnt out. We had a freshman come to Penn State, top 5 recruit in the country. Played for one of the biggest clubs out west. Great player, got to school, don't do volleyball, don't want to play anymore. And she was all the way across the country from her family, so she ended up dropping out of Penn State and moved all the way back home. So don't pick a school based on just volleyball. If I would have quit playing at Penn State, I would have stayed at Penn State. I know volleyball is my #1 choice, but I loved that university. Loved it. I would have been happy there even if I wasn't playing.
Is the process different? D1, D2, D3 schools? Or is it
The only thing that's different between D1, D2, D3 is kind of the timeline and rules of when they're allowed to talk to you. Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1 all differ on what year they're allowed to start communicating with you. Division 1, because I know it the best, September 1st of your junior year is when they're allowed to email you, text you, they can call you back when you call them. But any communication before that, so if you make it in sophomore year, sophomore summer, all that stuff, you can contact them as much as you want. If they get a missed call though, they can't pick up the phone and call you back. I think senior year is when they're allowed to send like official like media guides and a weight training plan for you to do if you're committed to them, all that stuff is senior year. So it differs from division to division on what they're allowed to do based on contacting you, sending you information, all that good stuff. The only other thing that differs is financial aid. So Division 1 can give full athletic grant and aid. So it's all based on the athletic institution giving you money. Division 2 can give partial athletic and partial academic. So they can give you academic scholarships based on your grades to go along and help supplement the athletic aid that they can give you. Division 3, you can only get academic funding. There is no athletic assistance in terms of getting you to come and play a sport for their university. Then there's also NAIA, which they can give full scholarships. There's junior division or junior college. So there's a ton. There's a ton of options out there.
what are potential out-of-pocket expenses that you will have as a player that might not be covered? Or is everything covered?
For Division 1,
For Division 1?
pretty much everything is covered. When you first get there, most people make you live in a dorm, so your housing is covered, and with the dorm will come meal points, so you'll get a meal plan with the money that they have for your scholarship. Books are covered under that tuition as well, so you'll get all of your books paid for by the university. Travel, when you travel with the team, they'll either buy your meals or they'll give you per diem so that you can pay for your meals. And then when you move off campus, they'll give you a check. So they'll write the check for your expenses. So I got a check every semester to cover my rent, my utilities, my groceries, all that stuff. But our coach, we would have gotten probably an extra $2,000 a semester if he chose not to do this, but he wanted us to have an on-campus meal plan just to make sure that we always had money for food. Some universities do that a little different and they'll give you all the money in the check, but there's always the chance that kids being kids, growing up, learning how to budget, all that stuff, will use that money for something else and then not have money for food. So, in my opinion, it was a smart choice on his. Most people hated it though because it was an extra $2,000 that we would have had, but I thought it was smart. But everything gets covered.
I just had a question about, as you as a person growing up, playing from an early age until the time you finally go to college, how did you find the balance, avoid burning out on the sport? Could you speak to kind of how you developed in that regard?
I played multiple sports, and most people say, no, don't do that. If you want to be good, you have to focus on one thing, and I hate it. I played AAU basketball. I did high school basketball. I did travel softball, high school softball, club volleyball, high school volleyball. I quit softball when I was a sophomore, though. Our team in high school was miserable and terrible, and I hate losing. And at that point, I realized that I was wasting my time. It wasn't keeping me in any better shape. It wasn't making me a better volleyball player. But I fell in love with basketball from a very young age as well. And my club coach was adamant about me quitting. Adamant. And I said, because when I get to college, it is a job. You don't get to go play other sports. You don't get to go do other things that you want to do athletically because the university owns you. If you're going Division I and they're paying your entire tuition, they own you. They tell you when to go. They tell you when to stop. They tell you when you're going to stay, when you're going to leave. They own you. So I was adamant. I played AAU basketball until my senior year of high school, and I played high school basketball until my senior year of high school. Most people don't understand how I did it or why, because my schedule was nuts. The only rule I had was I wasn't allowed to miss any club function for basketball. So my high school basketball coach was amazing and literally scheduled everything around me. But it was my 5th year of playing varsity basketball. So he felt like he owed it to me to let me play my senior year. I was also on the cusp of breaking a high school scoring record, so he wanted me to do that just because he knew I had put so much time into my career that he wanted to help me get that goal accomplished. So I say the best way to avoid burnout, do other things. The more that you just spend time doing 5 days a week, 6 days a week of volleyball, you're going to get burnout. It was my mom's biggest fear of letting me start when I was 6. She's like, you're going to get burnt out. You're 6 years old playing club volleyball. And I was like, Mom, I love this. Like, there's no way I'm going to get burnt out. The other thing, I had 2 weeks of the year. New York schedule, the way that it worked is we would go straight from high school into club, just like they do here. But then we also had Empire State Games after Nationals. I don't know if they ever had anything like that in Virginia. It's like a mini Olympics. So there's a torch lighting ceremony, all of the Olympic sports that they have in New York, and there's 5 different regions that make teams for those sports, and then you compete. So that started right after Nationals got done in July. So July 4th, 5th, you're done with club, and then we would go and start practicing for the Empire State Games, and Empire State Games were at the end of July. Well, then high school season starts 2 weeks later.